Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the grand finals. We have some very exciting gameplay. Not leaking draft secrets, for sure. We have some very exciting gameplay. A little bit scuffed because I had to work, but I'm sure that it will be absolutely top-notch. We're going to change these so that doesn't happen again. I think it's borderless. VSync. Okay. Oh, someone's playing Stardew Valley. That's exciting. All right, so we're still going to be waiting a little bit so we can talk about the draft. Right here you have, we'll just go lane by lane. Silas into Ornn. I'm assuming that it is Silas favored because Silas is pretty good into tanks. As long as Ornn doesn't get his Wizard Assassin one-shot combo and kill the Silas, that'll be really good. Especially Silas's scaling with these alts in particular is really good. The Ornn ult for engage, Lilia ulti, not nearly as good because he doesn't have super long-range abilities, but it is really good for pickoffs. The Victor ulti, really good for late game team fights, getting damage down to everybody. Lucian, being able to hit someone with their culling before a fight starts. And Leona, again, is really good for engage. So I think in the top lane, we're probably... that's fine. We're probably favoring the Silas over Ornn, I would say, as long as the matchup isn't too bad. And I think Silas probably has the kind of late game advantage. For Kha'Zix into Lilia, having played this one a few times, as the Lilia, especially if Kha'Zix goes more of a bruisery build, incorporating like a Maw of Malmortius or something like that, or a what's it called, Gore Drinker, it is very difficult for Lilia to actually deal with the Kha'Zix, especially if you have Maw. You just cannot kill Kha'Zix, and you kind of have to out team fight him. But if he goes for like a W evolve, like a QW evolve build, it is very difficult to deal with him because the W slows for so much. But I do really like the Lilia. However, there is a lot of damage on the side of Kitten Grooming Services, blue side. So it may be difficult for Lilia to play later on. Having like a Zanya's be blown super early because they get hit by a Varus ulti or a Xerath stun. So I do actually really like the Kha'Zix this game. Next is Victor versus Xerath. Joel on the Xerath, I would be inclined to favor him, though Valor has been putting up some wicked performances later on into the season, really kind of carrying from the mid lane a lot of times, and his Victor is definitely nothing to scoff at. So I do think that both of these champions really want to do the same thing. You can even tell by both their Sum and Rune choices. They're just trying to scale, get money, and then later on dish out tons of damage in the team fights with their Flash TP and First Strike. Next in the bot lane, is this playing? Oh, the game already started. Oh, one second. That's why it took so long.
Envy thy wild ignorance.
Okay, so how do I do this? Control. How do I zoom out? Okay, I'll figure it out. Next in the bot lane, we have Varus versus Lucian. I definitely favor Varus for getting through Ornn. Though on the side of, for Lucian, there isn't really a huge tank, so he shouldn't have too much difficulty dealing damage in the late game, though he is pretty short range. And then in the support side, I'm pretty sure I heard it's Core JJ kind of talked about the Leona Nautilus matchup, and the way he explained it is when you play Nautilus, you lose lane and then win the game. Nautilus scales much better than Leona. Even taking the Glacial Augment is going to be very nice for the matchup, though Leona will have a lot of presence. The other thing too is Nautilus actually has a larger auto attack range, so he can get the auto stun off without Leona, or the auto root off without Leona being able to stun back, which is really nice for the Nautilus. Really good trading out from the Sylas early, keeping the Ornn back. This is definitely why I think they picked the Sylas, knowing that Joe really has two champions that he is super proficient on, being the Set and the Ornn. Leona going in. Nautilus with the hook back. And as you can see here, the Leona just has a lot of damage early to start that trade. The Kha'Zix going for an early invade is able to get the kill onto the Lilia. And then a pause. So we didn't actually miss that much. But it is super huge that Kha'Zix is able to get off to an early snowball. This is exactly what you want to see out of the Kha'Zix, utilizing that early pressure to invade the Lilia during her weak first early clear. It is going to be very difficult for Lilia to kind of stay in this game. It may, late game team fights, she definitely has, a place, but if the Kha'Zix continues to invade, put on a lot of pressure, it will be very difficult for her to keep up. And especially in the 1v1, I would say once Kha'Zix gets his first back, gets a Dirk or Caulfields, depending on what build he's going, it's going to be very difficult for Lilia to keep up. Okay, we are going to keep waiting. How do I... Oh, there we go. I just scroll out. Okay. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh, I can't move my camera. Okay. So before the pause, looking bot lane, most of the health that the KGS side has lost is on the ADC, meaning that it'll be a pretty easy time if Noam is able to land an E onto Dean. It will be a pretty quick kill, as he does have his flash blown, or his heal blown, so he needs to be able to use that flash very quickly. Top lane, you see here, it is actually pretty close. Or not having built an item, so he can either build a Null Magic Mantle or a Ruby Crystal, which will help him to sustain through the early fights, and make sure that he doesn't die to the Sylas. However, Sylas with his W does have a lot more sustain in his kit. Additionally, Ornn took... How do I see runes? Ornn did took biscuits though, so up until 6 minutes he will have that built-in sustain, which will be really nice for the Ornn. But the Sylas is putting in work so far. And then let's look at runes. How do you do runes? Okay. Runes. So Xerath has gained 12 gold. Victor has gained 25. So they are kind of trading aggressively. Additionally, the Xerath is also up 1 CS in addition to having 2 more. Is it 2 more creeps cast? Oh, he's only up 1 CS, even though with Wave is pushing into Victor. So Victor, being the lane bully that he is doing a lot here. He does also have biscuits as opposed to minion DMATs, because once you do hit level 9, get the E upgrade onto the Victor, it is super easy to push out that wave. So opting for a more early game rune rather than trying to get a little bit better wave clear later on into the game. Alright, let's see. We hit the pause. Oh, we're back in business. Perfect. The Silas taking a tower shot, trying to get more harass in. We do have the Kha'Zix, though, looking for the early scuttle. Trying to continue to build up that lead. And we have an Ornn solo kill onto the Silas. So this is not what you want to see. And we have an all-in in the bot lane, too. Nautilus landing the hook onto... And the Nautilus is dead. And it is a double kill for Cylakats. They're able to double kill the bot lane, only getting the Leona traded back onto the Varus. And the money is all going on to Silico, which is exactly where you want it to be going. The Leona did not take any of the kills, which means that the Lucian is going to have a pretty good time here, being able to cash in all of that gold. The KGS bot lane is now going in on Lilia. And they are able to pick her up. Really just a greedy invade there. They didn't have any bot pressure, and suddenly KGS is... Their bot lane is the same kills as Cylakats, just because the jungler didn't really respect the ability of the bot lane to rotate on their way back to lane. Here we also have the early Bramble picked up for the Ornn, trying to reduce that Silas healing. The failed engage by Leona. It is important to note with the Bramble, though, it does not actually guaranteed stop the Silas healing, because he can W and just not auto attack, and he will get the full healing off. It has done 8 damage. The Victor continuing to bully the Xerath. They both do have TP, and this is, kind of Victor's lane bully. May look for a solo kill here with Flash ulti. Silas canceling the Ornn upgrade, or canceling the Ornn buy. Kha'Zix going in onto the Victor, dealing a lot of damage with that early serrated Dirk buy, getting 57 gold from first strike there, which is what you want to see from the side of Kitten Grooming Services. What you don't want to see, though, is your support getting engaged by a... Kha'Zix may be able to trade something back here. Or the Lilia, actually. Neither the W or the Q looks like the Silas is almost dead. And he is dead for a second. Is able to steal the ulti, but unfortunately, because he does not get the kill, that means he will not have it later on, which will, kind of diminish his skirmishing potential. It looks like Cylakats are looking for the Drake here. Trying to keep their early game pressure up and continue to snowball that lead so that it can continue to scale into the late game. Fortunately for KGS, the arrow is just off the blighted arrow or something from Varus. Piercing arrow from Varus. Just a little bit off, so they aren't able to get the steal. And Cylakats is off to an early lead. 2 kills onto Ornn, right? They're hyper scaling late game wizard assassin tank. And 3 kills onto the Lucian, who's going to be able to blow up just about anyone on Cylakats. unless they, invest heavily into armor, which is possible from the Nautilus, and even like Zanya's from Xerath or Silas. You'll be able to throw Xerath just about at any point in the game. The Victor using the ulti just to try to stop Xerath is able to pick up the Victor, and they're able to stun Lilia, and because of that stun and Nautilus auto, they're actually able to keep the Xerath alive. And Kha'Zix, again, you hate to see it as the Lilia died 2 times in the same build.
It is.
Lucian is looking for the all-in onto the KGS ADC. Unfortunately, there were a lot of minions, so his killing did not really find purchase there. Jean just barely missing out on the kill onto Lucian. That 650 gold would be really nice to see from, to have from Cylakats. They are able to pick up the kill onto Leona. So they, continue to kind of shift back and forth here. Just some kind of faulty decision making on the side of Cylakats, whether it was the kind of greedy Lilia roam, or even just there, not really knowing the limits, or, waiting for the minion wave to go away. Silas continuing to be out-traded by the Ornn. Silas does have exceptional scaling, though, especially having a lot more damage than an Ornn. Unless, of course, the Ornn has a bunch of tank items, and in that case, he out-damages the AP Bruiser. Cylakats are looking to collapse onto the KGS bot lane here. And Dean makes it out with the 2 Lucian bullets from Lightslinger flying to him in the fountain. That was a really gritty base by Dean, but it does pay off for them pretty well, as he is able to get his reset and spend his gold for some more fighting power heading into, later on into the game. KGS does know something is up. They almost one-shot the Lucian. However, they are able to trade a lot of damage back. The Leona is able to kill the Kha'Zix. That is actually really unfortunate for KGS, as they are not able to get the shutdown gold where they really want it to be. However, Cylakats are able to pick up the shutdown gold onto Kha'Zix, or onto Xerath. There was no shutdown gold on Xerath, never mind. Which is nice to get the kill onto the Lilia to try to get her back into the game. She is significantly further behind the Kha'Zix, as Kha'Zix has a full item already. Umbral Glaive Rush working towards a Mythic here. Could be something like a Prowler's Eclipse, Duskblade. Most likely going to be a Lethality pick to continue to one-shot the squishies on the side of Cylakats. Additionally, Nautilus has picked up 2 kills now in the past 2 plays, which is not where you want the gold. However, before he does get the locket, which I hope is locket is Silas stealing away the Ornn ulti. They trade ulti for ulti. However, the Silas is not able to get the second part in. Ornn continues to kind of show his proficiency on the champion. They are engaging onto Nautilus here. However, Nautilus is just going to say thank you very much and walk away. Not wanting to expend ultimate or spend too much resources on trying to get this. Kha'Zix is looking for play here. Farming some personal gold. The Leona ult goes wide. The Varus ulti does find purchase onto Lucian. And they are able to blow a cleanse. Kha'Zix unfortunately, he's not able to get the Baron, and he does go down to the side of Cylakats. Leona actually finding the kill without even using the teleport. Additionally, Warren was there, so was pretty strong effort from the side of Cylakats, trying to make sure that they are getting the kind of most strikes possible to scale later. The Silas is beginning to trade a little bit better. He does have the Sorcerer Shoes, which is kind of countered by the Null Magic Mantle on the side of Ornn. However, with that Lost Chapter, he is scaling pretty well. Kha'Zix is killing the Lilia, who is again greedily invading the opposite jungle. Kind of questionable decision making on the Lilia, trying to invade someone who is just going to one-shot you if you face check the ambush. It is... We do see the Caulfields in addition to the Serrated Dirk from Kha'Zix, so we do know it is going to be either a Prowler's Claw or Duskblade. Lucian is engaging onto Nautilus. Nautilus just barely surviving. However, he does get shut down by Lucian. Kha'Zix shuts down the Lucian in return. That is not really what you want to see from the side of Cylakats, as they donate the kill to the Varus, trying to make sure that their 80 carry stays in the game and keeps building up their lead. Silas is, continues to be pretty good. The lower health he gets as he gets the W. But as you saw there, as Ornn ulties, Silas flashes, gets the second W off, and another E, and Silas is finally able to pick up a solo bolo. That does make sense as Silas does scale. Once he is able to get a lot more mana, start using more abilities, lower that ability haste is pretty good for the Silas. However, earlier on in the game, he was kind of just being out-traded by kind of the power of Ornn. KGS is now looking for the Rift Turtle top side. They use the first Rift to knock down some plates on the mid-turret and trigger to both the jungler and the mid laner. Now looking to get a little bit more. They're able to land the stun onto Victor, followed by the Nautilus ulti. They blow Victor's flash, and they are able to get that kill over to the Xerath, which is just what you want to see. Xerath continuing to build up a lead, build up some more gold advantage. Xerath is trying to deter Cylakats from going in on his support right now. Both 80 carries are walking up, trying to rotate to the right. The Lucian Gale Forces in rather aggressively, ends up actually canceling the ulti during the flash. The Varus flashes in and gets killed. They are able to stun up the Lilia, and here we have the Kha'Zix, who's looking to clean up here. Get a little bit more kills. He did opt for the Duskblade in addition to the Dark Treads, so he does have a lot of ability base. And the Kha'Zix utilizing the the Hextech Gates, is able to pick up another kill onto the Lilia. It is really just not Lilia's day, as Lilia has been killed in her own jungle 3 times by the Kha'Zix, and 1 time in Kha'Zix's jungle by their bot lane. So here you can see, especially with the Liandry's, I actually really like the Liandry's pickup from the Silas. So at least 3 of his opponents are already building bonus health. And with actually 4, because Victor, probably working towards a Shadow Flame, is picking up a Ruby Crystal, and some of the mage items do have health. So it will be really good. He is now really starting to win out the trades into Ornn. As you can see, nearly full health into a half health Ornn. just needed that time to scale, but is now really starting to he picks up the Orn ultimate. However, Orn is able to or actually misses the Orn ultimate and is in a 1v3 situation and does not pick up the Orn. However, because the Sylas did draw that much pressure top lane, KGS is able to find the Hextech Drake, one of the best Drakes in terms of gold value, I think. The Lucian Gale Forcing into the Kha'Zix, however, Kha'Zix using the ultimate is able to Nautilus with the aggressive, and then Lucian being able to kite it out, getting 2 kills onto the side of KGS with the Varus piercing arrow just going wide. That was, quite the play for KGS. They're trying to make a play onto the Lucian, trying to catch him off guard for using the Gale Force so aggressively. However, they just are not able to put out enough damage as the Kha'Zix put down just a little bit too fast. The Xerath is getting engaged, does have the flash blown, which does stink as the mobile backline carry to be missing your flash in case anybody flashes on top of you, or to get out of Victor ulti, but it does make it hurt, which is pretty good for the side of KGS. We do see the Essence Reaver picked up from Lucian, something that a lot of Lucians used to go, has not seen nearly as much popularity recently, preferring things such as the RFC or LDR.
Support for the core.
They are able to pop one eye on the Herald, and the second one, so the Herald charge actually does not go off because they crush the eye a little bit too far away. It being a 3v4, KGS does not want to go in and try to fight that Herald, so instead they just have to let it be popped. Now KGS just trying to gather back some vision. Cylakats have done an excellent job of warding the bot side, again trying to play around the split Lucian. They know who their carry is, demoting 3 pink wards, all onto the bottom river, trying to keep him ahead. Kha'Zix will now get rid of one of those pink wards and pick up a pretty juicy wave, unless he actually gives into his middle laner. Sylas actually interrupting dash, using the Nora ultimate to engage. Orn ults uses the first R, or the second R a little bit aggressively. Sylas, his W just keeping him alive for so long. However, Orn and Lilia are able to pick up the kill, only having to blow Orn ultimate, while Sylas does blow the flash, but unfortunately does not get out for the side of KGS. They're now engaging onto Howler Victor, and the fourth Xerath R just goes wide. Does deal quite a lot of damage onto the Victor, forcing him to back. Following the solo kill, Orn is taking the top tier 1. Is able to get a little bit more gold in his pocket. Once he gets another level, it is going to be very difficult for KGS to play, as they're going to be facing the ornaments, and just kind of continued, kind of an even more of a gold lead, even if it doesn't show on the graph. However, it is very, very even as we head into this 4th Drake fight. It is something where, with only one ornament through, Infernal and Mountain on the side of Cylakats, and Hextech on the side of KGS. This is going to be a pretty even fight going into the 4th Drake, and this is where it's really going to be good. With the Kha'Zix face checking and getting his ultimate, end his flash as Lucian uses the culling to continue to threaten it. Leona flashing to engage onto the Xerath, and Lucian following that flash up to kill the Xerath. So now you have even more gold going onto Lucian as we head into this second Hextech Drake, which could put KGS in a soul point situation against Hextech Soul, which is really impressive, especially later on in the game. When you're ahead, Hextech Soul just is so powerful because you're able to slow them. Ornn using the TP to counteract the Sylas in the top lane, stopping him from getting that tier 2. Dean using the Varus ulti to make it play onto Victor. As Victor's flash was blown earlier, he is killed, and the Nautilus just making it out alive. From the side of KGS, you really want to be focusing on this Lucian. You're able to take him down and then pick him off in the back of a fight, or especially before the fight even begins. That'll be really the Xerath ulti just does not miss from Joel. He is able to pick up the shutdown. And the Varus is able to be picked. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The Varus is able to pick up the Lucian shutdown. And just like I was talking about, they're able to pick up those two big shutdowns in addition to killing the Leona. Unfortunately, the Sylas does get knocked down by the Ornn. But I think they're really just looking for Sylas to be a late game team fighter. Not really looking for him to have that super aggressive split push here. With the side of KGS getting super low, this is a questionable Baron as they might just get one shot here by the Victor. The Xerath stun followed by Nautilus Hook does chunk him down a lot, but they do end up losing out on that as they lose the Nautilus and they just lose a lot of time to Baron that really just wasn't necessary. They aren't able to push lanes, pressure, get more gold, other than the shutdowns they got earlier because they had kind of attempted to do that Baron rather than continue to push lanes and push their advantage. You do see it is 3 items on the Varus as opposed to the 2 on Lucian. The attack speed items, of course, being a little bit cheaper, but Lucian does now have the ornament. They're really looking for Lucian to be the carry, as well as Victor, rather than putting the ornament into any of the other champs. Just trying to make sure that they have the damage. If they are able to pick someone out, they are definitely going to die. Speaking of getting picked out, the Kha'Zix is looking for the Victor. He's able to blow the Victor flash. Lucian blowing through. The Kha'Zix is able to pick up Lucian as Kha'Zix goes into Lilia. And Varus is able to hold on just barely. However, he does get picked up by the Lilia right at the end. There is a lot of stuff going on right now, but overall that is a 3 for 2 for the side of KGS, with a lot of gold going on to the Kha'Zix and Varus. Joel trying to steal away the Krugs is able to stun up the Ornn, but he does get hit by the ultimate. Ornn blowing flash for flash mid laner, and Nautilus is going top A for Xerath's sins. Unfortunately, the Sylas stealing the Victor ultimate, using it to try to lay down the damage as he escapes, using flash and the blast down. They are able to pick up the Victor without the Xerath going down either. This is just a 2 for 0. Just really kind of over aggressive and greedy play by the solo laners of Cylakats. Not really respecting Sylas's ability to just stay alive in these fights. Even though he did have 5 deaths, Sylas still just stays alive for so long, especially with the stacked Conqueror. in the Kingslayer, it's very difficult to kill him. Cylakats should really be looking to try to establish some more heavy vision around the Drake. The Lucian opting not to go into the wards for fear of KGS, waiting for him to face check. But this dragon is going to be extremely important, as it either puts Cylakats on an extra 5 minutes, or could really give them the advantage they need to push their lead even further. The Ornn and Victor are actually double TP'ing into the Baron pit. They're going to try to rush this down, say to heck with this Drake, we want the worm, and just essentially we don't see any response from KGS. Instead just saying, you know what, we'll just take the second Hextech Drake, just make sure that we don't lose soul, opting to give Baron. As there are no inhib turrets, and actually all of the tier 2s are up for both teams, the Baron isn't super impactful. However, if they do get a kill on the side of Cylakats or even 2, they may be able to threaten a lot of base damage onto the Xerath feud did quite a lot of damage to Lucian. He has no MR. He may opt into something like a Hex Drinker later, although we do know from Jackie Love that Hex Drinker doesn't always work. So he may instead opting for probably a Bloodthirster, either a Bloodthirster or a Brook, based on the Scepter. Cylakats are using this time with the Baron. It feels more like a farming Baron, just trying to stabilize rather than extend the gold lead that they did have. They are a little bit behind, so just using this time to stabilize, get even on gold, pick up the gold that's already on the map. Continue. The Umbral Glaive doing a lot of work for Kha'Zix here. Having 9 wards killed. And now they are... looks like they're fighting over the position. The huge Xerath damage coming in. Lucian ultimate onto him. Kha'Zix is not able to pick it up for KGS. And the Varus also dying. And now there's only Ornn, the person who was engaged on. And now the Ornn gets picked up too, so it ends up being a 4-for-2. There is just so much happening. There's like, oh my goodness. But it is a 4-for-2 for the side of KGS. They are able to extend their gold lead back up to 3k. Unfortunately, the Xerath was engaged upon by the Lucian, so it was very difficult for him to stay alive. And same with the Varus. They just didn't quite have the heal the way they wanted it to. But they are able to pick up a 4-for-2 in the end. And Lilia is continuing to fight the Nautilus, looking to maybe lift him up here. Lilia investing flash and ulti onto the Kha'Zix. As Kha'Zix has very little mana, they are able to get the rocket out from the Nautilus. And Lilia is goes down here from the Xerath. Again, kind of just greedy over forces by the solo laners of Cylakats. Xerath only hits 1, although I think he only needed 2 more. But most of those shots go wide. Just trying to keep the support alive, making sure that they are able to hold onto this priority in the mid lane. The Silas is engaging onto Howler in the mid lane. Just barely misses out on it because of the stopwatch. And Valor's just going to heal that back up on the Honey Fruits. He saw the angle he tried to go for it. Unfortunately for him, it didn't quite make it. Silico, though, with only 2 Q, or the 1 ulti shot and a Q, nearly all the way dead. Nautilus uses his Hex Slash there to try to look for the Leona, and Leona will make it out of here safe. Actually uses the ultimate there. Just to try to make sure that Leona is following her. Is on a pretty low cooldown. So it isn't the worst for them. Kha'Zix is hunting Lilia in her jungle. Rather than trying to flip something, they are trying to kind of put the line way up in their face. That way there's not a burger flip for the dragon. Looking at where the board needs to go. Sarah with a huge chunk onto the Lilia. Kha'Zix with a not so huge chunk onto everybody else. They are able to find the horn ultimate onto no one really. Nautilus using ultimate, they're not able to pick up the Silicone without using the Kha'Zix ultimate. And Lilia is using... Ornn is almost dead. And Joel here, at the firing range, is able to pick up 2 on the end, making it a 4-for-1, as well as pushing out the bot wave, trying to get a little bit more damage. They are able to pick up the Hextech Drake here, having 3. This is huge for KGS. They got a lot of gold there. They were able to play the team fight effectively. It was kind of fights in different areas, but KGS, part of their strength is they win their ones. In most things, they're able to win the 1v1, and if they don't, they're able to out-team. And they just, in the end, have a little bit more, cohesion and worked a little bit better together than Cylakats. Cylakats was just missing a little bit of damage here and there. They are now looking to rush down the Baron. Varus does deal a lot of damage to the Baron, as he does have 4 items now, mostly attachment items, getting a lot of content with the passive and spend. And Silas is TPing just to make sure that we're able to continue the fight. Going in on actually opting to use it to blowing Victor stopwatch and then killing Victor. Victor used his ultimate, but he wasn't able to get anything back onto the Silas. Now that KGS does have the Baron, it is going to be a little bit difficult for Cylakats to be able to kind of play against them. They really lack the wave clear without Victor to keep their turrets alive. And as you can see here, they are engaging onto the Kha'Zix, although he does use the ultimate to get away, using the second charge of the ultimate to make it over the wall to safety. But they are able to finally crack the base of Cylakats after 36 minutes. And the Kha'Zix, just a little bit too greedy, get picked up by Lucian. As Lucian actually blew Gale Force there to pick him up. So that is a lot of the skirmishing tower down on the side of
I just had the strangest
KGS, as they aren't able to get those kind of assassinations onto the Kha'Zix. However, Xerath, other stuff being engaged on, using the Varus ulti onto Horn. Victor just trading some poke back. Nautilus with the flash hook missing onto Horn. However, Xerath does use the ultimate, blows the flash from Victor. It still gets him. However, Varus is... they use the Lilia ulti onto Varus. Pulling is interrupted. The Silas stopwatch, although he does live, and is able to heal up off the Ornn with the Kingslayer, leaving only Leona down. The Kha'Zix is flashing in to guarantee the Leona kill. And there we go. Silas, using that stopwatch really good, is able to pick up the Lilia on the back end of that fight, secure a nearly clean ace for the side of KGS as they begin to take down a lot of the turrets. Kha'Zix here taking a lot of turret damage. Does win the 1v1, although it was a little bit close. Victor is now up though as he was taken out by the Xerath ultimate. Kind of indecision here by the side of KGS as to whether or not they can end. That indecision means that they cannot. If they had sent for mid, it's possible that they would have enough damage. Instead, opting for cracking both of the Nexus turrets and then backing up and playing for the Hex Tech Soul. This is now a do or die situation for really only KGS or only Cylakats actually, because they do have the super minions. As long as Cylakats does not get a lot of mid prio, they still will be safe, as you know, the waves are still pretty far back. But Hextech Drake is going to be absolutely brutal for whoever gets it. Both Xerath and Sylas finishing up their Void Staffs, being able to melt through the Ornn, as well as the inherent magic resist from everybody else. Lucian picking up a Kindle Gem. Not really sure what his fifth item is going to be. Sylas taking the Leon ulti before it begins. Possibly looking for an ultimate to start the fight. Additionally, Sylas's cooldowns are so low that once he uses that as a kind of initial engage, if he plays the fight long enough, he will be able to pick up either culling or an ultimate later on. Nahus is going in. Orin used the ultimate, misses most of them. The Varus is able to creep him until he gets stunned, but he nearly takes out the entire enemy team. The Victor ultimate though is doing work. And Lilia is able to pick up one on the backside. However, the Sylas is now actually TP'd to end, knowing that they have no TPs, as it is only Lilia up. Trying to end here, using that huge mid lane prio, is able to stay alive and win the game. So that was a pretty big win for KGS. And there you can see, right, kind of the strengths of KGS is they have really strong 1v1s. They have a lot of people who are willing to put in work, put in damage. And there, even though the Sylas started like 0-5 or something, or 1-5, right, putting in a lot of damage, and they're able to dish out a lot more than Cylakats, because they have something like an Ornn, which is pretty good for late game team fights. But Ornn doesn't really do anything into Xerath if Xerath is one-shotting you with R. So it was a really exciting game to watch, though, and it is a really good one. I'm excited to see what we have for the second game of Grand Finals, but it is now 1-1, right? So we are now in a best of 3 situation. We're now in a best of 3 situation. The Cylakats had an extra win as they did beat KGS in the winners semis. KGS going through, the bottom of the bracket, facing Kathy's Kittens, beating them, and now we are in a best of 3 situation for the title of Scrims Season 4 champions. Very exciting. Yeah, pretty wicked. Okay, I am now going to go into casting. Okay, it looks like we have the second draft has already started. Here we have, again, the early prio by KGS on the Sylas, essentially saying, we are going to ban your set. We think you're going to pick Ornn, or we're going to win with it anyway, right? Even though Ornn got a bunch of solo kills and was able to play around his team, Sylas still dealt out so much damage later on. Additionally, they ban Jonah's infamous Shyvana, as well as Will's Twitch, trying to get people off their comfort. And again, we see the response of Ornn. It will be interesting to see how this one plays out, as they will not have as the Sylas will have a little bit more lane knowledge now. Nautilus is the response, giving Sylas actually a really good ultimate as they're able to pin down one of the carries from the side of Cylakats. The response is Blitzcrank, right? Eric loves to play this champion. I think it's good into Nautilus. I don't know. I hate playing Blitzcrank. I hate playing with Blitzcrank. I would delete him personally. Anyways, but I think it's a good matchup for the side of KGS. They opted to... Cylakats opted to ban Yi, Seraphine, and Xerath. That Xerath performance was really good from the side of Joel, and they're trying to limit the early Seraphine prio that KGS has shown for most of the season. Varus picked up from the side of KGS. Does deal a lot of damage. Very consistent. You do not have to play nearly as well as something like an Aphelios. You just right-click, and they're all dead. The MF picked up in response another really good ultimate actually for the Sylas here. MF is something that it was super good, but with the variety of nerfs that they've had, it has kind of fallen out of favor of a lot of people because it is no longer kind of that E-spam MF that we saw earlier in the season, and even when they changed it to a more crit on-hit build, or crit attack speed build, it has still been nerfed significantly since then. But we will see how it does going into Game 2 here. Waiting for the second ban phase from the side of Cylakats. They do not ban anything? Question mark. Let me check. It is an Orianna ban. Again, targeted at Joel. He is really strong on the Orianna as well as the Xerath. The Victor is banned away from Valor. He did put up a pretty good performance, although he wasn't really able to make it away from the Xerath ultimate because he did not have any mobility. It'll be interesting to see if he Valor opts for a control mage or an assassin here, knowing that he does play both. And the no ban again from it's actually a Ziggs ban, so they are now triple banning the KGS mid laner with a Lilia ban from the side of KGS. So targeting Jonah's Lilia and Shyvana, again trying to put him on something that is not nearly as comfortable for him. It'll be interesting to see what we see in response. It is possible it could be something like a Trundle, or possibly is it a Jarvan? No, it is a Viego, which is interesting. I actually would really like a Jarvan here. I think the Nautilus Jarvan or MF Wombo combo, you have a lot of kind of easy CC that you can play around, and it makes life a lot easier than trying to play some sort of pick comp or something where you have to team fight super well like the side of KGS. So the Viego is interesting here. We do see Mason's Hecarim. It will be interesting to see what build he goes, how he does. Hecarim was turbo broken for a little bit. However, they did nerf him back into kind of normal play. You do have to be really good on Hecarim to find super consistent leads. However, if they are able to kind of get ahead, that would be pretty good. Here we see, I believe it's Joel's Lux. Again, something kind of control magey, hit your skill shots, right? That's what Joel is good at. And it doesn't really matter what champion he plays, whether it's Lux or Braum or Xerath or Ziggs. or Orianna, right? You just hit your skill shots and you deal damage, right? And that is kind of what Joel is really, really good at. So it'll be interesting. I'm really excited to see how it does. We do see the Corki picked up from Valor. The last time he played Corki, if I'm not mistaken, it did not go too well for him. Him opting into a Leandri's Corki. That poke build has been significantly nerfed if I'm not mistaken. But it will be interesting to see if he goes for a crit or poke build. I would actually like to see crit here, as there is 3 melees from the side of what's it called? 3 melees from the side of KGS. So he isn't super outranged here. He could also opt into something like a Hex Drinker first for some more lane dominance, being able to opt into those defensive stats early, stopping him from ever dying to the Lux as long as he plays it correctly.
Could you stream OBS for me for a second?
Yes.
Great. There are also there are a few in-game settings I can help you with as well. Make it a smoother experience overall.
No, that is League. 1 second. No, I had everything set up on my laptop. This is not my laptop.
Good to know.
No, not League. How do I?
This is the capture of OBS.
Does it?
Wait, is this just your screen? Oh, so click on OBS.
Wait, why? Oh, it is what OBS. Oh, wait, we're getting there. We're getting there. Very. So what this is? What you're streaming OBS? Why is it not streaming the window?
Mm.
You can't see the window now, right?
I can just see the League of Legends.
I'm
rather.
working on it.
Could you Discord stream your
Yeah.
screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is what I just did. But I've been
Okay.
boom.
Okay, so click on plus,
Yes, sir.
and then go to window capture on the bottom of the list. And then if you click that, you can basically tell it which thing to look at.
Oh, I was trying to do it the other way through game capture. That was not working.
Right. So then if you have you gone to like gun assets or whatever?
Yeah, but I don't have the I didn't download the thing from casting. So,
Right.
1 second. I'm working on it.
Yeah. No, I think your what's it called? Your actual casting part is going. It's really good. It's just the Scrim's a bit scuffed, but honestly, it fits the Scrim's own legacy. But I figured I may be able to help for.
Okay, I have
Okay.
Scrims. Oh, I have to extract it, right?
Right. There's the JSON file that you need to
Jacob,
apply.
I specifically mean that it fits your legacy.
Okay. No, I'm by far not the least. Not the most scuffed caster.
No, normally Dean does this stuff, and I just talk.
Jacob, do you
What?
not remember?
Okay, that one time doesn't count.
Okay, so I
How'd you get in here?
Okay.
extract
Okay.
all.
I shouldn't be able to join.
Yeah, you shouldn't be allowed in here. What the heck?
Well, I'm not staying by.
Bye. Okay. Now we go to asset creator. Oh,
So if you
I'm working on it.
So if you go to tools and then asset creator again, it should auto import the players for you. Or that, yeah, so that works too. And then you can just update the record. So that would be, it would be 1-0.
No, it's 1-1.
Oh, true, because okay, right. Thank you. So you can just replace 11-2 with just 1-1. Like you can just replace it all together. Yeah.
I did do this for the other one, but I could not figure out how to do it.
Right.
I've downloaded everything, and now I go to downloads, and then I scoop that all up into the other one.
Yep. Oh, what did they ban? They banned W O R K
Any
T.
thoughts on draft?
What? Okay. As long as Silas doesn't build the way he built last time, I'm happy with
What do
it.
you
Well, actually,
mean? That was so good.
no, 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 no. I mean, that's not like what I mean, like in theory, against two tanks, you want the burn build, but like for the way that Silas plays against that team, I think it was kind of troll. I'm not gonna lie.
I actually really liked it. I didn't see how much damage he did on stuff. Where do I put stuff?
So okay, so you drag everything with a capital letter, you put in player highlights. So like champs, Jar, Joey matchup, except for starting soon scrim, you leave. And then standings, you put in slideshow images. And then that's good.
Okay, I have to jump in to argue about Silas. Like, I'm sorry.
Okay, let's set up
Like,
stream first,
that's-
and then go back to OBS. And I think it should.
I'll
I don't know
leave
if
it before the game starts, but I just have to say, like, for the job that Silas had to do in that game, that build is not good because in that game, his job is take care of one of the squishy carries.
I would argue that he is essentially their tank, which is why I liked it. I think he should have gone the Lucidi boots instead of Sorks. But I would argue that he is playing a frontline carry instead of, because they didn't really have a tank other than Nautilus.
Mm. So can you show OBS or?
I'm moving it.
Okay.
Bada bing.
Okay. So then you go to scene collection.
Okay, I can see it, I guess. Maybe.
Import.
Yes, sir.
I don't think that that's something Silas is a good pick for.
Yeah,
but
but he deals more damage.
like, given the
than, like,
circumstances,
Maokai, you know.
sure. I mean, I guess since you already have a Kha'Zix who's
Okay,
an assassin.
So then wherever you exported that folder, like the scrim zone, whatever. Great. So then you find the click the .json file. Great. Open. And then add. Sorry. And then scene collection at the top.
Wait, was I muted the whole stream?
Whatever speakers you're using.
Wait, what
No,
speakers am
you're
I using?
literally not muted. I'm literally checking the stream right now. I don't know.
Okay, so and then if you look at the audio levels, exactly, you can balance it. I would balance it a bit higher, maybe. I think we're probably a bit quiet. So just make sure, because I'll just keep talking a little bit, and you can look at the levels of where you are versus
Okay.
where I am.
Oh my goodness.
No, I've been like going to go out on my streams, I know. So
Wait, I think I just unmuted myself. I think that's why. I think I was.
I think your OBS wasn't, because you imported the new scene. It wasn't picking up the correct microphones.
Yeah, wicked.
Okay, so I think
I wasn't muted the whole game though, right?
No, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Otherwise,
I think it's when you imported the new stuff. So if you go back to OBS real quick,
yes.
I think if you want, you can keep up like the scene selection stuff. But if you want to turn off the studio mode, I guess go back to in-game.
In-game.
And then on the right, you can turn off studio mode, like on the bottom right.
I like.
And the studio mode again, it's really helpful, for like changing stuff. So that's a fun little tip that Dean and I figured out the other day.
Pog.
All right, now that I think I have everything, I'm gonna go back to lobby so I can do my lab report. But I wanted to
Enjoy.
make sure we got peak scrim zone.
Wait, before you go,
Yes.
who do you think is going to win, based on the drafts?
Going to win or want to win?
Give me both.
All right, personally, I'm biased towards Cylakats, my Kings. Noam brought him into the server. I want to see him get a first season dub. But honestly, based on this draft, I think KGS might have it. I was a little surprised by the Viego pick, to be perfectly honest. Valor on Corky kind of rounded it out with AP. And I'm scared that if they don't get the ball rolling, it'll get stuck.
Yeah.
On that side.
I definitely think that Viego, after all of the nerfs, he's just not quite the same blind pickable champ that he once was. And they don't really have Viego. It's very different when you play reset champions, because essentially you're playing you're not fighting fair, right? The way you win is you can blow up someone, and I don't think if they have the same tanky build on Sylas, I don't think they have that on Viego,
Right.
But it'll be interesting.
No, I think I was definitely a bit worried when the first half of draft went through, and it was just, the supports were different, but it's effectively the same exact team compositions.
The salty run back is
Yeah, which because obviously the beginning of the game went well, and then I think just compounding positioning mistakes were just getting to Cylakats. So I think with a refresh mental, which again I don't know if the pause is helping with that, but
yeah, the 9-minute pause that they have going on right now.
It gave us time.
True.
With a refresh mental, I think that it can go either way, but I think definitely from a draft perspective, I'd probably give it to KGS. Although Cylakats has definitely surprised me in that way before, or they'll just pull out some insane stuff out of their ass with some less probably preferable drafts. All right.
Yep.
Not to get starting, I'll probably leave you guys to casting. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Peace.
All right. So hopping into game here, looking at the runes here, we do have another First Strike Corky game. This is probably his best rune as far as getting scaled up into the late game. We do have... Okay, we're starting again. We do have... Wait, how do I zoom? Oh, okay. 1 second.
You're good.
Do you know how to zoom out?
I have. Oh, in League, I think you just press Z, and then you use your mouse to mouse to scroll under. That's Control Z, I think.
Control Shift Z.
Oh, Control Z. There you go.
Oh, wicked. Okay. Yeah, I definitely think looking at this draft, I would probably favor KGS as far as kind of how the top lane matchup went, where they were really able to outscale pretty well. Fairly standard rune and starting item choices. The Cull on Corki just trying to scale, as well as First Strike, again, just trying to get gold. And especially on the Poke Corki, if he goes Ludens or Leandries, will be pretty helpful as far as...
I don't think you can go Ludens or Leandries anymore. I don't think AP Corki works anymore. I'd be surprised if he goes to... It's like very simple.
Yeah, it's possible that it is the crit. I just know the last time that he did play that.
I see. That's just like strictly worse. But I agree. I think I remember he went AP Corki last time.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't read the patch notes, or maybe they just really want to play.
Yeah. How would you say this ADC matchup goes? The Varus into MF.
I mean, I don't think MF really has any bad lanes, so I like MF here. Oh,
The Blitzcrank.
I don't think Blitzcrank. Yeah, he's going for the MF, but I also don't think they need to blow exhaust like that. So looks like they're gonna get a lot of damage on.
And Silico is able to pick up the kill onto Varus, and getting.
Oh, taking minion axe. He's dead.
A 1-for-1, but Cylakats does get the gold onto the MF, which is really where you want to see it, as opposed to on the Blitzcrank.
Yeah, that was an interesting fight. I think Blitzcrank wanted MF.
Yeah,
but she got the Nautilus. So. I mean, I think 2v2. I think MF Nautilus is probably stronger in this lane. I do like the Blitzcrank pick though. Blitzcrank is a spicy champion.
Yeah, and that early gold will actually help Blitz get early boots, so he can kind of terrorize the map that way.
Yeah.
Again, the Ornn is continuing to outtrade Sylas early. I really think until he does get that Leandries or at least Lost Chapter Spike, it is very difficult for Sylas to play this matchup. Kind of Grass just being a better early game rune.
Right.
As we can see here.
Oh, he's going in. He's dead. He's dead.
And instead of committing by the Ornn.
He would have won. He would have got the auto. I don't think the Sylas auto would have killed Ornn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he should just stayed in auto.
The Hecarim here opting to full clear. A little bit slower than the 5 camp from Viego. Just hovering the Lux here, trying to make sure that his mid laner is safe. Looking for the second scuttle, possibly looking to fight the Viego early. And Hecarim is able to pick it up. And is going to...
Viego's dead here. I don't think he can't go for this grab yet.
And Viego didn't even go for the flash here either.
Viego, I don't think Viego wins against Hecarim, right?
Yeah, Hecarim also opting for Conqueror as opposed to Phase Rush, which will be interesting. Opting for more of like a frontline tank, possibly Sunder or Manamune, instead of kind of the ranged Duskblade, Umbral Rush. And the Blitzcrank is dead here.
Nice hook by Nautilus.
Kind of just overstaying for the creeps there, trying to get more gold onto his support item. Although the Victor does trade a lot of poke back onto the Nautilus, trying to keep the damage a little bit even in lane. Hecarim continuing to invade the Viego here. Both having stacked Conquerors here. However, the Ornn does rotate first.
A little bit aggressive. Ornn's here. A little too... Yeah. Not a huge... Oh, he lives.
And the Sylas trying to trade back, but Corki is here and is able to pick up both of them, kind of alternating kills onto each of the mid laners. It is pretty big of the roam by Valor, able to pick up a tier 3 longswords, probably opting for a Manamune first, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, looks like Manamune good. Which probably means
Well, I think Manamune you build on whatever. Manamune is just like strictly Corki's best item.
Does 80 Corki build mode? I forgot. Let me check. Corki build.
Blitzcrank
But yeah,
threatening.
that was really aggressive positioning by the Hecarim when he does not have the mid prio, so
Yeah.
probably expected to get roamed on.
The Nautilus
people
is
are
able to
still
land
building
the
a-
hook.
Wow.
The Nautilus is able to land the hook onto the Varus, but it is not quite enough. Blitzcrank being able to run away. However, Varus does blow the heal.
Yeah, it doesn't need to heal there. Maybe he was afraid Viego...
Silas trading very well onto the Ornn is able to interrupt the E-dash, really stopping Ornn from being able to get away. The Blitzcrank Flash, Lux ulti, and the Hecarim all coming in will mean that this is another dead Viego. Again, Jonah is just not really having a good game as far as understanding where Mason is going to be. And here we see the solo bolo from Silas. Really like to see Drago getting those earlier kills. Varus nearly dying to the Hextech Drake. But he is able to come into the game a lot earlier than he did last game, which will be interesting to see how he's able to kind of affect the rest of the game that way.
Oh my god, is he building he's building the MF ruler? I don't like that. Like he's building Bloodthirster first. I guess I can see it this game, maybe. I don't know. That build is still a mystery to me. Corky trading aggressively.
Corky's trading aggressively. I think a lot of that is just trying to get the maximum value out of first strike.
And yeah, I mean if Lux blows Q, like she's defenseless, so Lux should never blow Q if Corky has W up. Unless she's sure she can hit it.
Valor also opting for Earthrider Corky. Arguably one of Corky's pay-to-win skins, as opposed to Corky, which is one of his cuter skins, when the Corgi shakes its butt. But it is more difficult to see these.
Okay, yeah, see, every time Lux misses Q, she gets punished, and she has to flash for it.
Exactly.
So you should just hold Q for pressure. For all you Lux enthusiasts out there. Okay. Is there a top fight quit? Yeah, there is.
Drago is continuing to trade onto the Ornn, even though he does see the Viego coming up.
Well, he gets reset. Fightable. Oh, nice dodge. Nice try by the Nautilus. Yeah, he insists.
But the Viego reset is just a little bit too strong, even though he missed basically all of his abilities. Just that extra damage from the second ulti was enough to, put him down. Additionally,
it's a good roam by the Nautilus too. They know their MF isn't gonna die here, so they're gonna. Oh, maybe not. Maybe MF is gonna die. No, she's fine. Yeah, I mean it's good roam for Harold if you know the wave is pushing into your mid laner. Almost dead. Okay.
The Lux W, the second cast of it, just barely keeping Lux alive. Lux having no ulti should probably use ultimate, or Lux having no TP should probably just use ultimate to clear the wave, to try to get pressure. It being on such a low cooldown might be a better use of it than trying to hold it for a solo kill into Corky. The MF continues to be super ahead, both up a kill as well as 30 CS onto the Varus now. Blitzcrank does offer a lot late. But if the Nautilus is able to hit the hooks on the right champs, it can be very difficult.
Joey is getting smurfed on in top. It's like
he is, and it's actually such a huge difference from last game to this game. I think Drago wasn't super comfortable in the Ornn Silas matchup. He didn't really understand when was his time to trade and when it was stronger for Ornn. But playing this a second time, it definitely feels like Drago is coming into his own now.
Long Silas hook.
Yep. One thing that a lot of Silas players will do is once you cast E, you walk away.
Just walk backwards. But I think they only do that I'm not. It's kind of just like instinct. I feel like they. Just
it is. Well, the thing is though, is a lot of people kind of underestimate how long it's going to be because you make it appear longer. Corky with the full mana immune here, continuing to farm first strike gold off of the Lux, punishing her whenever he has it up and she blows Q. There again, the Q on cooldown.
Wow. Trading really aggressively. It's flash. Gets ulted by Heck. I'm still dead.
Yep. And we see nearly another solo kill out of the Silas. He does actually opt to flash in, trading 1-for-1 there. Doesn't...
I think not worth because I think the wave is going to freeze on him. Yeah, that's not worth.
But they do both have
The wave
TP.
is freezing on him.
So,
well, style points.
he was inflicting mental damage. You don't understand. KGS is a notorious for
right.
playing for mental damage.
Drago mental damage. It's too crazy.
Cylakats now looking for second Drake here.
Oh, he's going in. Oh. Yeah, there's a bot for drag. Well, it was a nice
Unfortunately, Blitzcrank does get it, but they are able to pick up a 2-for-0 with Drago expending the TP bot to make sure that they are able to get a significant amount of prio for this Drake. Valor uses the package super defensively. However, Silas is able to steal away the Viego ulti to make it to safety.
Lux is coming through the side. I don't think red team wants this. Because Lux is coming. They just gotta play stuff. Don't die to the big Gavin and stuff.
The Hecarim with the Sunder and Conqueror is able to stay alive just long enough that Viego does not get the reset. And it is a delayed full ace for the side of KGS. And we might actually see a 7-for-0 if the bot lane does play a little bit too aggressively.
Flash. Nice root by Lux. Yeah, I think they should have looked at the mid lane TP and realized Lux was coming. But they went in for it, and now the game's a little doomed.
And here we actually see some interesting itemization instead of... As MF looks for a solo kill onto Varus, just barely misses out. That is definitely the difference between a Bloodthirster MF as opposed to a Lethality MF. Just barely misses out on the damage.
Build Lethality anymore. It's Kraken Slayer or this weird...
I'm not saying that it's better. I'm just saying that I know personally I was super used to the ulti damage, and it's just not... The ulti damage is not nearly as much unless you're building Lethality. They are looking to engage onto the Hecarim here. He is super tanky with the Divine Sunder, and he does expend the ulti to get out, trying to keep that shutdown gold. The Ornn is continuing to push the top tier 1, being hovered by the Viego. As Blitzcrank looks for a pick here, they are able to catch the Viego out with a Lux Q. However, they are not able to pick him up, living on very little health there, as he is just able to back away to safety. Hecarim looking at the Corki here. However, Blitzcrank will be the one to find him, followed by the Varus ulti, as well as the kill onto the Lux, continuing that snowball for the mid laner.
I think if like red just backed off and realized that there was 5 top, they have their MF pushing bot, so I think like as long as no one died there, red would have come out on top because the Rift Herald isn't spawning for a while. But now they get mid as well because the Corki died.
Yep.
I think Corki should just back
And they
up
are
and
able to
go.
find another Q onto Viego and get him again. This is really... You kind of just get hit by one ability from the side of KGS. And it's just very difficult to get away from it, as they just have so much damage at such a long range, with the Lux as well as with the Blitzcrank, to bring them in even closer once they get hit.
Oh, Silas trading on again. Nice cancel stun.
They are able to pick up the Rift Herald, which I would personally like to see it dropped probably mid to get a little bit more. Oh, they actually drop it top Oh, I didn't even realize there was another tier 1 up there. The Ornn ulti does land onto 2. However, the stolen Nautilus ulti is able to pick up Valor on the Corki. As we can see, this WMAX Sylas getting so much healing from Kingslayer, they just are not able to take him down. And he is able to basically one-shot everybody on the team of Cylakats except for the Ornn, who isn't really able to do, that much in response.
Luden's Echo on Silas. I like that.
It is actually interesting. He does have the Luden's Echo, but he didn't go Sorcerer's Shoes to kind of full stack the pen.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah.
And we do see a lost chapter from the Corki. We will be seeing a poke Corki again.
I think they need to go AP Corki. Also, apparently people still play AP Corki. Apparently that is still the most popular build, so...
I think the thing about AP Corki is, even if it's lower, if you go Leandri's, it's more for like delivering a burn at a super long range, and then once you hit level 16, that's when you really start to deal a lot of damage with the rockets.
Yeah, I mean, their team needs Corki to go AP anyway, so I'm not surprised.
I mean, even if you do go AD, you still deal mostly magic damage, so it's kind of dealer's choice at how close you want to be.
Yeah, it's about the scaling. It's not about like what damage does more damage. And also like which ability does more damage.
Corki does pick up the package here. However, they do not look to be in a position to take kind of any sort of fight near the Drake. Corki possibly looking for an engage onto basically any of the members of KGS, as most of them do have the bounties available at the moment.
Wait, who flashed there? Or did I miss...
Varus. I think Varus flash ultied, and...
Okay, flash ulti. And then Corki burn package. That's not a bad flash, actually. Burn Corki package for Dragonflight.
Yeah.
And they have no way to win that. Nice try.
Alright, just barely missing out on the Corki there. Sylas is TPing to keep the top tier 1 alive. There is a lot of outstanding gold for Cylakats, and especially denying both the objective bounty and the local gold from the turret seems to be worth in Sylas's book. Nautilus is able to ultimate the Lux. The Varus being exceptionally deep, although Lux nearly one-shots them.
Oh, Hecarim going in. It's a wipe. I mean, blue team's just too bad. Oh, he could have gotten double covered. I guess he did have vision. That would have been sick if he got a double kill. Hecarim.
The Hecarim on the backside gets one shot. He saw the triple kill and just...
I respect the try. I respect the try.
The chain's nearly landing onto the MF. She does still hold onto her exhaust. So soon she will be able to use it. The Lux ulti, just to clear the wave, it is on such a low cooldown that it does make sense to just kind of push and get more prio and tempo onto the map that way. Varus opting to take Hecarim's jungle camps. He is nearly at his third item, or second item, opting to go for a Rage Knife and Zeal, just like he did last game. That way he can kind of maximize the crit chance into on-hit. Varus and Hecarim looking to two-man the Baron, and then noticing that they deal no damage to it, and opting to walk back to the mid lane, noticing that Viego and Ornn are hovering. I think the game plan for KGS here is just to hold on, right? They have a 5k gold lead, right? Continue to either just kind of maintain for right now, and then just wait for, the super early soul for Mountain Drake, and then the Corki rockets aren't really going to be doing much, and that will just continue to stop the Viego from having any sort of reset capabilities, and it'll be very difficult for them to blow them up. 2 items for the whole top side of KGS. Well, on the Cylakats, they only have 1 item on each of their members. So it'll be interesting. I think the next fight is definitely going to be super KGS favored as they hook in the Nautilus. Not the person you want to hook in. However, the Lux ultimate, as well as all of the other damage, is just way too much. Viego not even able to find the reset onto the Lux. Silas going a little bit deep under the tier 3. Viego flashing away from Varus, although Varus will pick him up with the piercing arrow. Lux full health 4-0 and 8. Something you see Joel quite a lot on. Just super high damage, high KP, low deaths. Hitting skill shots, dealing damage. Really where he excels at the game. They are doing Baron on Vision. However, they do see the Corki clear the top waves, so they feel no need to sweep the pit and instead sweep the bush for Blitzcrank. The Hecarim is getting quite low, though, as he does not have any Omnivamp from his Thunder, because it only works against champions. Opting to reset here, spend their gold. Cylakats does have a little bit more tempo towards the Drake here, as they did respawn earlier. However, I basically think KGS is going to just slap them with their wallets. Nearly a 9k gold lead now. It's very difficult for Cylakats to walk up into them. Silas again in a 1v3 scenario, and he is taking down 1,000 gold onto the MF, which will be really nice in her completing her IE.
Oh, never mind.
However, it's possible that she doesn't even get there. However,
Nice pack.
Valor is able to get the package off, but it's just not quite enough. They do get the shutdown onto Lux. Right, so overall, not the worst thing that could have happened for Cylakats. They get 2 big shutdowns onto both of their big carries, which does feel really good for them, but it does feel really bad that they did go 2-5 and give up Mountain Soul as well, which makes it very difficult for them to play the rest of the game. Mason dropping a little bit of that mental damage that I was talking about earlier. He has spoken of himself as the what's it called? The villain of the server, the villain of the season, and continuing to opt into that.
Wow, he went death cap second. I like it. I mean, yeah, there's stuff that it doesn't matter.
Are you talking about the Silas?
Yeah, the Silas.
Oh yeah. Plus, it does give him more healing too. So even though he's building all offensive stats, it does actually give him some defensive capabilities.
Yeah, he just won.
Really long chain onto the Nautilus. Is able to pick him up. He
Looking for the...
finds the Viego. Again, Jonah is found in his own jungle. The Lux ulti kills him mid-hook. And KGS might just be looking to end the game here. Corki does not have package as they used it before, and they are just diving underneath their tier 3s. A clean ace for the side of KGS. Just saying, we don't care. We're going to hit you with our wallets, and we're just going to end the game, right? They're not going to wait for some big team fight outside of their base. They're just going to go and bring it to them. So this actually puts KGS in a very commanding 2-1 as they continue to one-shot other members. Just focusing Nexus turrets here, getting as many ace notifications as they can. But they are in a very commanding 2-1 as Cylakats got the 1 win from winning winner semis. So it'll be interesting to see what draft adaptations Cylakats does make going forward. What do you think you would like to see from them?
I think Joey should play a carry champion. I don't like Viego. Viego's a pro play champion. You have to be really careful about the way you pass and the way you team fight. And Joey's just getting caught out in early fights. I don't think he necessarily understands where Viego's strong. Corki's just bad. Don't pick that champion. I like the bot lane. I think that was their highlight of the game. The MF Nautilus is pretty good. I think Gnome played a better support, honestly, than Blitzcrank did. Blitzcrank did well because his team was fed, and it doesn't matter who Blitzcrank took there. But Gnome had a better roam to the top side, while the bot lane was the Blitzcrank was just sitting in the bot lane, so they didn't get much out of that. I think they can also. There's a couple macro plays they can do better. So I think like if you know that there's like 4 people on top jungle and your MF is pushing bot, you should just like stay out of the jungle. You'll like win out in gold if MF gets the bot tower.
Yeah.
Other than that, like yeah, I think the top lane like I think Joey can do better than that. I think don't pick Corki in this.
I also think. I know that you wanted Joey to do better, but I definitely think that for the side of KGS, when I was playing, think of it. Have you seen Naruto?
No.
Okay, well, basically, for those of you watching on Twitch, think of KGS like Rock Lee, and then we get to the point, where he's fighting Gara and he drops the leg weights, and then he just goes like full crazy mode. That's essentially me being subbed out for Drago, because Drago just plays carry champions, right? He picked the Sylas, blind picked it, right? He knows that he's going to be playing into Ornn, and he knows that he can carry with it. Even in the first game, we did see he wasn't nearly as comfortable in the lane matchup. So he did die a couple times early, but he still was like, I'm going to put myself in a carry position. And it's very exciting to see him do that. And I definitely think that KGS is probably favored going into our final 2 games, if necessary, coming in tomorrow. But it'll definitely be interesting to see the adaptations that Cylakats makes going forward.
Yeah, I think Cylakats can win if they want to. I think they beat them 2-0 earlier, right? So I think it's definitely possible. I just think, unlike Corki and if they know that Drago's gonna play a carry champion, they might want to save top lane. Well, they got top lane counter, right? They picked.
Yes, they picked Ornn into Sylas twice.
I don't know too much about top lane, so I honestly don't know if that's good or bad or whatever. But yeah, Sylas probably shouldn't get that ahead solo. And I think Jonah maybe wants to retool his, Jonah maybe wants to retool his jungle pick. I don't think I don't think anybody on the server plays Viego very well, to be honest. So.
Yeah, I definitely think it is definitely interesting the way they draft. Jonah isn't really, I believe he got the Lilia banned away in the second round. So it's just very difficult for them if, kind of the people that they have playing are kind of limited by their champ pools. So you really got to focus and a lot of draft resources towards putting them on things that they're comfortable. That way, like when we saw Jonah and Shyvana, when we saw him on Lilia, right, he was significantly more impactful on that because it's just something he's a lot more comfortable on than something like the Viego.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think KGS's strong point is that I think their champion or their players play meta champions, which is always good. I'm always in support of that. And they have much larger champ pools. I think the person who has the most exploitable champ pool is the mid laner. So personally, I would ban Stylus and Ziggs, and then I think Valor has a good time in mid. So if that's my draft plan against them, just ban Stylus, ban Ziggs and Xerath, and then everything else.
Well, this game they actually banned Ziggs, Xerath, and Orianna.
There you go.
Joel went to his 4th pick in the Lux and still continued to perform.
I mean, I don't think that's true. I think the Corki had a better laning phase against the Lux. I think you saw that the Lux got played a lot of trades really bad, right? I like talked about how Lux didn't hold the Q very well and
Yeah.
subsequently got traded on by Corki. Like that shouldn't really happen. I don't think Lux should be losing against lane against Corki because she just has so much more range than Corki. Like Corki can really only trade against like shorter range mages like Victor is possible, Rise is possible, Syndra is possible, I think. This one, like, I don't think you want to be picking Corki into Lux.
Yeah,
So-
it'll definitely be interesting to see what draft adaptations they do come up with. They do have 24 hours to come back and go for round 2. But it'll be interesting to see, how that goes and how that plays out, and I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah. Should we interview someone, or it looks like everyone is leaving?
Let me ask. We also don't want to leak draft secrets prior to.
Yeah, true. No draft secrets. Interview, yes. Oops.
Who do we want to?
Let's grab. I want Noam. Where is he? Where did he go?
I would personally like to hear an interview. There's not a lot of people left.
We can grab him, and we can grab Eric. I mean, is Eric? Oh, Eric is gone actually. Let's just grab Dean. I mean, he's the team captain.
Did someone say Eric?
Oh, there he is. Hello, hello. How do you feel about your series?
Pretty good. I mean, there's nothing anybody can do about the fact that it has to be chopped up. I mean,
Yeah.
part of the reason why it had to be started at 8:45 and then Silico had to leave at 11. So I don't know.
That's fair. Do you have any reflections on the game? Anything you think could have gone better? I know you guys won, obviously.
Okay. I think draft was fine. I don't want to talk about draft too much, but I think overall, I think draft from both teams was pretty fine. I just think we had some better end game execution. Like we just had better late game team fights.
What do you
I
think
know.
is Cylakats' greatest weakness?
That's a good question. I actually don't quite know. Sorry, I gotta think about that question for a second. Ask Noam something.
No, you guys like lost 0-2 today, but I mean, I praised your performance. I think you played really well. I think you had better roam timings. I think you played the 2v2 better. How do you think your team can win tomorrow?
I don't know. Personally, I feel like I didn't play super well. I feel like a lot of my engages weren't great. Like I should have been peeling for Silico and Valor a lot more.
I think your team was too behind. So I wouldn't necessarily say at that point it's your fault. I didn't watch game 1, so I don't know what happened actually. Yeah, but I think game 2.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to leak anything, obviously, but I feel
Right.
like for tomorrow, just like focusing on flank vision. Because we got flanked by like Hecarim and whatever jungler they played game 1 a lot.
Gotcha. What do you think is their team's greatest weakness?
Like legit greatest
Yeah.
weakness? I was gonna say they talk too much in all chat.
Well,
I think that's our greatest strength, bro.
I'm pretty sure
Well,
they
we-
subbed out their greatest weakness. So
We had Drago and Mason muted. The whole game.
They didn't even say anything.
You did for them.
They
Well,
said
I wouldn't
nothing
know,
the
I had 'em
entire
muted.
game.
Respectable.
Their actual
Lame.
greatest weakness? Fuck.
Yeah, you hear that, Mason? Stop fucking talking. You got carried to dive. No, sorry, that's fine.
Don't do him like that.
Olaf had Eric had enough time to think.
Yeah, I think that they make good rotations. Like I agree. I think Gnome's roam timers are pretty good, but then they just like don't execute the plays that often. I feel like a lot of time they'd get good roam timers, or they execute plays sometimes, but sometimes it goes horribly wrong, and that happens sometimes. But I think it's about making those individual roams count a lot more, because like you're leaving Silico kind of like out in the dirt, and it's not just Gnome. I think like Jonah can be kind of culpable of this as well.
Okay, that's fair. What do you think is their team's greatest strength?
Where I think is their greatest strength, I think they are really good at like playing from behind. I think it. I think they're the only team we've played against that has like won a game from being seriously far behind before. That was the second game of the winners set we had. They played from behind like really really well. I think my team's pretty okay at it too, but I think they're really good at it, and kind of puts it kind of puts me on edge, right? Because like normally when you like are ahead in a game, you like kind of ease up a little bit, but
Yeah.
like it was like 30-15, and like the last team fight wasn't very close, but the team fight before that was pretty close, and we
Right.
were still ahead like 10-12 kills, so that stuff scares you a little bit.
All right, back to you now.
Back to me. All right, biggest weakness I think is a lot of the times they'll get caught out in sideline. Like
I
even
agree.
that pick on the Silas just before I think it was the last or the second to last team fight.
Inshallah, brother Drago.
But also like Dean was soloing red buff in the middle of our jungle earlier in that game.
Yeah, the Hecarim play by Mason early was like almost a disaster. So I agree with it.
But I think you guys like are fine doing that because your team fight execution is just insanely clean. Like not even that, just that, but like your objective setups were really good because like I don't know if it's just today, but our vision around objectives today was really bad, frankly.
Yeah, it's hard. I think I mean, not to toot my own horn, because that's not the intention of what I'm about to say. I don't think people are really testing you on clearing words that often, and so when it's like when you don't get pushed back against very often, it's hard to know how to adapt and like find new ward placements, right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell you what I think specifically you did wrong, because I would like you to find that out for yourself or suffer the consequences. But
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for coming for the interview. I don't know if Michael, you have any questions?
No, I'm just very excited to see.
Yeah, Michael, why the fucking goat, bro? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. kidding.
Yeah, I'm
Love you
just
guys.
very excited to see how Grand Finals plays out tomorrow.
Yeah. Honestly, okay, the biggest thing I wanted is I thought if it was gonna end today, it'd be kind of cringe, because like I mean, even if it's separated over 2 days, a blowout always sucks, right? So
Right.
I'm glad that it's gonna go to the second day.
Silver Scrapes would be sick.
Silver Scrapes would be a certified banger.
Yep. All right.
Do you have
GG's.
any last comments, Hong, before we all head out?
Last comments? Yeah, I mean the series kind of boring. I didn't watch the first game. The second game was kind of boring to watch. So I hope.
I think the first game was really good. That was a really good first game.
I agree.
Yeah,
Okay.
first game was really good.
I
Should go back
yeah,
and watch
my
it.
thoughts
I
to
hope.
myself.
I hope they keep up the mental game, and tomorrow I hope to see some fun games. Sam and I will be casting. So.
All right, GG's both of you. We'll see you tomorrow, and we'll see everybody else here tomorrow at 8:45.
All right.
Yeah.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
I think they should just play Blitzcrank or something. Anybody can.
Okay, we are good, I think. So, I guess I'll say this again since I was muted. This is grand finals of Scrim Zone Season 4, Kitten Grooming Service versus Cylakats. Kitten Grooming Service is up 2-1. Cylakats came to the series with a 1-game advantage due to coming from winner side. So this is Cylakats' make or break moment. And I guess to go over the draft we have so far on Kitten Grooming Service, we have Seraphine, Ash, Ziggs versus Kaisa, Renata. Seraphine, Ash, a very, very strong lane duo. What do you think about the other lane duo, Teddy?
Yeah, I mean, I think Seraphine Ash is a better lane than Kaisa Renata. I think, like, generally with Kaisa, you want an engaged champion, just because Kaisa's, like, probably the best, or second best, or, yeah, I mean, top 3, like, follow-up carries, so generally, I don't really like picking Kaisa unless you have, like, a hard engaged champion, so I'm not a huge fan of Renata Kaisa itself. They also will definitely lose lane, because it's just, like, not a lane that's going to win against Seraphine Ash, because that lane has a lot of poke. They picked Vex into Ziggs. That's a pretty good pick, I think. Personally, I would ban Ziggs and Zera. Those two champions, like, you know, he can just, like, free farm on, and he doesn't really get punished for it. So, but we'll
especially see. Joel is very, very good at those champions where he just farms up and then nobody else matters anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, they're putting more bans in the jungle, which I think makes sense. Trundle banned out. Although I do think Cylakats has like a jungle weakness, because I think like once you ban out Shyvana and Lilia, like Jonah's other jungle champions kind of fall off. So I think like letting Trundle get banned is like not good, in my opinion. I personally would have held off on the. Because I don't think Jonah is going to get a counter pick in jungle anyways. I don't think his champ.
I would have held off on the Vex. I know Valor is.
I would have held off. Yeah, I think like Valor has a really large champ pool, and I don't think you really need to pick mid here. You can just like prio jungler. But we'll see. We'll see how the rest of the draft goes. Yone banned away from Drago. I think that makes sense. Hecarim ban, that makes sense as well. The Nocturne ban is pretty smart here. I think like Nocturne with Vex, Kaisa is like a very scary comp. So maybe Wukong jungle or top. Do people play Wukong top anymore? I forgot actually.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Well, actually, maybe Jonah has something new. Here's the Wukong. Let's see, if I'm KGS, I want someone who can create space. So I might want like Maokai, or I might want Ornn here. Let's see who they pick. Udyr. Okay, I mean Udyr.
Yeah, I mean that's the classic. I know Mason was actually fighting for that pick yesterday. Definitely the picks that he got definitely worked very well. But he finally gets his to show truly how bad his Udyr champion is, right?
I mean, Udyr, you got a lot of pick on the bot lane, so it's very easy to. I think like pretty easy to dive them if they stack a wave and. But okay, they pick Aatrox. Aatrox is not bad actually. I think against their comp. I think Aatrox actually can create pretty good space. And Aatrox is pretty broken, to be honest. Like even after the nerf.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
yeah, I think Aatrox is not bad. I like KGS's comp. It's pretty makes sense to me. Let's see what Cylakats is going to pick to round it out. Urgot. This is probably a counter pick. Yeah, they probably just like wanted to counter pick Urgot into the Aatrox.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely favor like KGS's draft. I think their draft plan makes a lot more sense. Yeah, Cylakats is like obviously looking for picks around Dragon and objectives, and I think they have a stronger earlier game for sure. So let's just see how. Let's see if the Vex in. I think they have a stronger mid 2v2 with Vex Wukong versus Ziggs Udyr. So let's see if they can make good use of that. I think bot lane is not going to have prio, but let's see. Maybe KGS's bot lane will make mistakes. We'll see.
Right. I mean, it's hard against Seraphine Ash. I mean,
it's hard to. I mean, I think it's hard to make mistakes on Seraphine Ash.
Right.
Unless you're playing against like Pike Blitzcrank, I would say. Not unless it's not bad.
All right,
This is a pretty
so
pre-pike game.
just a review of bracket since Dean very generously made this for me. If you look at Cylakats, oh, it flipped back. No. If you look at Cylakats' path throughout this, the only thing that they had lost going into playoffs was actually against Kitten Grooming Service. It was a bit scary when they met in winners finals, but Cylakats was actually able to take their first series over Kitten Grooming Service. In that series, set a lot of momentum forward for the team. Going into grand finals, they were going ahead of the game, and Kitten Grooming Service just seemed to get under their skin in yesterday's games. And it's time to see if Cylakats can make that comeback and fight back. You guys got the really good dub in loser semis, right? That game that happened the game that happened for sure that existed.
Yeah, it was like such a wipeout that they like didn't want to.
Exactly. So we can look at some statistics. Ooh. So Joel and Valor, they're both relatively like in the matchup. I mean, like I said, KGS had taken all but one series against Cylakats, which leads to that 5-2. Joel actually just doing very well in all those games. He can do the 5 KDA, just really impressive. But Valor's 2.34 definitely not to scoff at either. What do you think about these champion pools? I know you're a mid laner now, right?
I wouldn't really call myself a mid laner, but yeah, I mean, I think Joel is like particularly like good on this team because he either like can pull bans because like people want to ban his artillery mages, or like if not, like if he does get access to Xerath and Ziggs, like he always like performs very well. And like I said, they're very easy just to like farm on, and they're like pretty brain dead, right? Like anybody can play Xerath and Ziggs, so you can just like just like leave him in the mid, and like he will eventually scale. And like with like Mason as like a pretty good jungler, like pretty strong jungler, like I would say generally the mid doesn't really get too far behind. So yeah, like nobody has really really abused Xerath and Ziggs that I've seen so far. I'd say like generally their weakness is they're obviously very mobile, so they're very easy to dive. They're very easy to like gank and lane if you don't have vision. But like nobody has really abused that too much. Like I think our team like tried to do that with Pyke. But we had like some interesting Pyke hooks from Sam, so that didn't work out as well. But I guess that was our job when we were playing against Ziggs and Xerath. Is like if you're playing like you're not gonna if you're the enemy mid, like you're not gonna shut those two champions down that hard. You kind of just have to either like pull the support mid or jungler mid. But I don't think Jonah's necessarily gonna do that. We'll see. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. Like I said, like the Vex, like Wukong is a really strong 2v2, and so like I don't think Cylakats should be giving up Herald, and I think like it should be pretty easy to kill Ziggs actually. So I think like this is I like the Vex pick into it. I think that's a smart move.
Right, I think partially they're a bit lucky that the Vex wasn't potentially punished harder with KGS's comp, given how early they picked it. I know KGS historically has picked Valor pretty late in the process, but given the early Ziggs pick, they felt confident getting it in there pretty quick, I suppose. And they were not punished for it.
Trundle. Like I would have gotten Trundle on 3 because Trundle punishes like all 3 of those champions pretty hard. That's like very easy to gank Seraphine Ash lane,
right?
And very easy to gank Ziggs. Like you can pillar Ziggs out of his satchel. So like personally, I don't really think like KGS was going to ban Vex. Like even if you ban Vex, like I'm pretty sure they could fix like something. I don't know.
Yeah,
like, they could fix something else.
No, I agree.
Another 2v2 power.
Actually, real quick, I'm going to I like looking at the bans. I don't know no one else does, but I think it's fun. All right, so it looks like we got Joey, Joey. So Joey is not able to make it today. So they have Hadiri in the top lane, and they banned the set. I personally would have banned Ornn, as that's what he played 2 times yesterday. But the set is definitely, probably more iconic champion in general. And then TETTY. Oh yeah, I have heard from an insider source that your mic sounds like garbage.
My mic sounds like garbage.
Yeah, it's like beeping a lot.
Okay, interesting.
But I'm sure it'll be fine. And then so we went over the key matchup. A lot to say about that one. Champions to watch isn't really relevant because we started to stream a little late. Not late, but we started late. Cylakats champions. You can see Kaisa up there. Definitely, one of his more played champions. Although ADC is not his most played role. I think it is his most played ADC, I believe. And then you can see the most played champs being Udyr for Mason, as expected. Just 62% win rate, just absolutely dominating the server. Just really, really good stuff from Mason that we've seen. We just analyzed this. Oh, okay. Oh, because I haven't done the champion stats. I guess we can just talk about draft. I don't know. I think I mean, honestly, as an impartial, unbiased viewer, honestly, I'm just here for the hype. I think the hype moments are what really drives it. So I just kind of want to see this go to game 5. I mean, we have it's and it's always fun for fans of one team or another to see that team win. But I think that everyone can agree that game 5 series is one of the most hyped things that can happen. So I personally, that's what I'm hoping for. Cylakats to take this game. Certainly not biased. Otherwise, don't think about it. I definitely am not actively rooting for Cylakats in Discord. As a caster, I am unbiased.
Of course, surely.
No, but I think this is gonna be a very exciting game. I think that there might have been a bit of stagnation and a bit of tilt in the past after the last 2 games, but I think that the series had continued yesterday, it would have been a pretty easy just sweep from Kitten Grooming Service, because of those mental factors. Which if Kitten Grooming Service loses it, it might feel a bit bad for them, honestly. That if there was a normal series, they would have taken it. But I think that, I mean, as a viewer, as a spectator, it's much more exciting to see teams at their best, especially for grand finals. So I'm just really excited here. Oh, we can do a bit of a skin review real quick. If the game loads, please. Please, the game loads. The game loads. Okay. I need to resize this real quick.
That's getting huge L, betting $30 on it. Yeah, I mean, I favor. Oh yeah, you're having the issue that I have where streams the top, right? I don't know if you can look at your own stream.
Yeah, no, it's I got it. It's just I have a 1440p monitor.
Maybe that's why mine.
Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah, maybe that's why mine got fucked up.
All right, I don't know. I kind of want to do a prediction. I kind of want to do a prediction, but I think it's too close to the game to reasonably do that. But at the same time, a prediction would be so fun.
I would say it's a mad L for Cylakats. I don't think Cylakats' draft is bad at all.
Yeah,
I said, they have a lot more dueling power early game, and I think these early jungles and early objectives should be going towards Cylakats, so we'll see.
All right. And we are going into potentially what could be the very last game of Season 4 of Scrims. Oh my god, map is so big. Okay, that's one of the things I don't like. I'm fine, scaling my settings or whatever. But the fact that I have to, make my map small, it's so cringe.
Map looks fine to me.
Well, it was over the border.
Oh, gotcha.
Alright, looks like we have a pretty standard 5-point, although Renata is stepping up for what appears to be some vision. Or just scooping it out.
I'm playing Ash support again. That's so sad. I am an Ash support hater.
I know that Dean in particular is very vocal about the Seraphine Ashe lane, Seraphine going APC and Ashe going support, claims it is the by far superior version of the lane. I don't know if I personally agree, but
I think if you're bad at Ashe, or I think if you're not very good at Ashe, then yes, it's superior. It's easier and it's like less hard to fuck up. But if you're good at Ashe, like this is a broken Ashe lane. Like if you're confident in your AD carry skills on Ashe, then I prefer playing Ashe as ADC here. That's just my opinion, though.
You know what? Yeah, I think I would personally agree.
I think Dean is correct that like it is much easier to execute Seraphine APC and like fucking Ashe support, spams W in lane, and you press R, and like that's all you do. So yes, he's correct. Like you don't have to space, you don't have to kite, you have to do anything. It's just brain dead. Same with Seraphine, absolutely brain dead. I can say that because I literally played Seraphine bot for like an entire summer this summer, and it was like. Yeah, so easy. Like, that champion is so fucking easy.
Brain melting.
Seraphine walks up, Ashe walks
So, looking at the summoners in the bot lane here, we have Seraphine has teleport, Ashe has heal. Meanwhile, we have cleanse on Kaisa, and...
That's good.
Cleanse is very, very good into the Seraphine Ashe. Just so many CC abilities. And then the exhaust from the Renata, I'm a bit less of a fan of, I think. I don't know how much all-in is going to be happening in that lane.
Yeah, I'd probably go, like, healer.
Yeah, I'd probably go heal, personally. Or maybe Ignite if you think Wukong is going to come down, but... Because the heal reduction... Oh, so it looks like... I mean, I mean, if that was the Ignite right there, that would have been a kill.
Oh.
But obviously, you know, hindsight 2020. For this one specific play, Ignite would have been but...
That's a bad mistake by Ashe. You shouldn't be losing that one.
Alright, and Wukong goes to the dive, and he gets out, unless... Yeah, okay. Nice. With Udyr in the top side, there's not... Unless Seraph... Okay. I guess Wukong did not have W for a while, so the Seraphine was just able to like, melt him down. That is a trade onto the jungler versus the AD carry, or I guess AP carry, which means that the lane will be a bit harder for the bot lane at the expense of, for King Grooming service, Wukong being able to impact the rest of the map more strongly.
Yeah, I mean, you can also see like Udyr gets free top grab, and he's probably going to gank the Urgot now. Let's see if it's going to pad. Yeah, and he gets one of Wukong's camp. So overall, I think it's not worth for Cylakats to do that play.
Right, I think that if they had gotten Seraphine, who would have lost a lot of farm with the wave under the turret, it might have been a better play.
Like, they don't really lose anything there. So.
Right, I mean, with Ashe being the one dying.
Yeah, Urgot's getting path bound. They should know that Urgot. They should know that Udyr is probably on top side.
Right, I mean, given how long Jonah was in the bot lane without anything happening, it's been unfortunate for Deary.
Yeah, I mean, early game definitely going KGS.
Right, looks like we might see a 3-man gank mid.
He's out of mana.
He can't just W away. Vex is not able to get a fear that gets in closer because that's not how fears work. Who ghosted? Did I hear? Oh, that was the scuttle.
Nobody ghosted. This is scuttle.
Okay.
It's a good try. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I think that it got Ziggs away, although at the expense of Silico. Just I know how miserable being shoved under the turret by Ashe Seraphinus.
You get plating, but it's not like Kaisa loses anything.
Right, it's just except for mental damage, that lane is not fun to lane to. Nice backstop. Yeah, Seraphine is able to teleport in.
ADC main prefers ADC. Hey, Michael, I played Seraphine ball lane, I think like 8 games in a row in a competitive setting. Like, Seraphine is broken. I actually really like playing Seraphine. I'm an Enchanter player, so. But, I don't know, Ashe is just fun. I enjoy playing Ashe ADK.
Ashe is cool.
Like, me and Sam played a lot of, like, Seraphine Taric, which is, like, so cancer. Like, it's so cancer.
Alright, it looks like we got some
raiding going on.
Yeah,
I
it
don't know
looked
how
like
Falcons
old
works, though.
old Urgot for a bit there, where he switched places with him. They were on the wrong side of the lane. See, I actually did not play when that was a thing. I'm a very new player, but I've watched some old videos about Old League. That shit was crazy. Old League was insane.
I don't know. That champion was so bad. Like, it was honestly funny. Okay, gun mid. Nice satchel by
the
Zig.
The flash saves him by getting hit with the weak part of Zig's ult.
Barely.
It was a bit risky in my eyes, but I guess he knew the damage very well and was just able to know that he would get out there. Although, very good play from Mason, now invading Jonah's Raptors. Meanwhile, Ziggs just going to be getting that wave under and potentially getting rid of turret damage off before Valor teleports back in. It looks like the monkey has discovered his birds are gone, and he is figuring out what to do next, just wandering around, waiting for his red buff to spawn. Is that map the... No, I think that map is the correct size. It's so small.
Oh, I just realized Kaisa went Doran Shield.
Oh, huh. That's
awful to me.
Yeah,
Wait, I would just go... I didn't realize. I would just go longsword 3-pot.
Right.
If you're going against poke heavy, just go longsword 3-pot. It's so free. Or you can go boots 4-pot if you're really spicy.
Right.
I mean,
True. Alright, looks like we have some action going on around the dragon. They should be able to get it. Udyr is not close. They just secure it with the smite. Oh, Vex is ulting in. They get Ash Flash for it. Although Mason is coming, it would be a 4v3. But looks like Wukong is backing away. Seraphine ults, gets the stun on Noam, and not able to retaliate.
He walked... I think he was trying to get a hook, but he walked into Udyr basically and got stunned.
Right.
Like, I think he padded upwards. I think he just kept running. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, no, it happens. That's here. Eric on this champion has been very, very strong. I mean, this season, obviously, Seraphine has been the most picked champion of the server. And, in general, in the season as a whole of League of Legends, she's been very strong. But Eric has just been absolutely dominating on the chat. Oh, no! Wukong just failed the W over the wall. I believe what I just saw.
Anyways.
Right, but it just feels bad, man. Alright, looks like we mostly just have a farming lane mid. Neither player... I mean, they've made plays on each other, but both players have, been safe enough when they need to be that no kills have been gotten off of it. And the farm is, a little bit... Ziggs is a bit up, but with the wave pushing towards her, there's going to be a lot of minions to pick up. Alright, looks like we have, looks like Kadiri knows that Mason is there. No one is around to help him. So this will be, it looks like, a 1v1 for now, but Aatrox is just going to come and...
Maybe if he can... Nope, Aatrox is...
Oh, looks like we do have Noam coming. The Renata ultimate is going to be able to help out. Acted as basically a stun there, I guess a charm.
Did he not have Renata W for that? I mean, I guess it wouldn't have mattered. I don't think they can kill the Udyr here. Oh, it's a disaster.
Oh, okay.
I think Kadiri went a little bit too early. Oh, that's unfortunate.
I think that here could have waited longer before. I think that the play wasn't necessarily flawed. I just think the execution did not go the way that they wanted it to. Oh, is it a Dirk? Do you think it's still going to be a Mythic Rush, or do you think it's just going to be a straight Collector from Kaisa?
Oh no, you can't rush Collector. You'll be useless.
Right.
He's just rushing up for Q evolve. Although a lot of people these days don't run Dirk anymore. They just
do like standard Kraken into
The Phantom Dancer.
Phantom Dancer.
Yeah. What do you think about
Oh, he's called it.
Oh my god! Except I mean, he has
I don't know
to
if that's
kill.
worth
Or,
it.
yeah.
It's not worth it.
It depends on if they are able to win a team fight and then get a turret and a half or something. But
At this point, I think
Exactly
like accelerating
right.
to lose gold lead is not worth it. The Udyr is strong enough where like they're never gonna win in the jungle anymore, unfortunately. So
yeah.
I think Vex is also a little bit useless now. Like not because Vex himself, but their jungler is like too behind right now, and so like I just like cannot see them pulling off any plays that they want.
Right. But yeah, as since I have the ADC. Oh wait, speak. Okay, never. Okay, well.
Oh, wow. That was a really sick Ash ult.
Yeah, I throw it out there. I guess. Why not?
Yeah,
Fuck around and find
when he
out.
plays Ash. Like he just like throws it like randomly, and sometimes it hits. Yeah. If it hits, you get the reward.
So we just have solo kill after fucking. I guess no, the first one wasn't a solo kill, but we're just doing kill after kill for getting Grooming service, building their lead even further. I mean, at 12 minutes we have a 5k gold lead.
Yeah, Drago's Aatrox has been like pretty impressive. He's been hitting all his Qs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, what do you think of Bloodthirster Rush Misfortune?
I talked about this yesterday.
Oh, okay.
I know Ruler did it once. So I don't. I'm not 100% sure why people do it. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm sure it's good. I just like personally don't understand.
Right.
It. I also just really like how much damage Kraken Slayer MF does.
Yeah.
Like, when you rush Kraken Slayer. So I don't know personally kind of that more, but I'm sure there's some rationale behind rushing Kraken Slayer or rushing Bloodthirster. I just don't understand it. Yeah, well, unfortunately, the gold lead's 8k, and unfortunately, blue team scales far, like, way better, so I don't,
Alright, let's give another...
It's gonna be a bit of a blowout. Okay, Ashall goes mid. Oh, it hits!
Yeah, it's Vex.
That was another random... I think there he shouldn't have random Ashall.
Going for another steal to death combo.
Really know why. Nice try.
Less of a fan... I don't know, I guess... No, I'm much less of a fan of that one. I mean, what, you're going second dragon you're gonna die for? I don't know. Maybe I'm... Actually, I do know that Cylakats, I was like in the cover a little bit. Cylakats has been very, very highly valuing dragons in his gameplay recently. So maybe that's why he, just very dragon forward mindset. Although I'm personally,
yeah, I mean, the thing about, like, doing that is if your jungler wants to steal dragon, like, the rest of the team shouldn't go there. Like, the rest of the team should push mid and push bot. Like, that's the play, if you're looking for a steal. Because if you're looking for a steal, your jungler's gonna die. He's too behind, so it's gonna be, like, instantly a 3v4. It's a mistake a lot of, like, lower elo players do, is, like, if their jungler goes for a steal, like, do not follow them, like, just push waves and get gold elsewhere.
Oh, Dean is just Hawkeye landing every single arrow that he throws out.
Yeah.
And then Wukong
really
can't
nice
do
special.
anything here with... I mean, he just hasn't had, like, any gold for, like, 5 minutes. Oh my god, wait, the ultimate! Is he gonna live? And then... Oh, Vex not able to reset off.
Oh,
no, I'm flashing in. Don't die, don't die, don't die! He's so strong! He's so strong!
Oh, wow. That's an Aatrox move.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's the,
Wow. That's crazy. I think, like, one thing about Aatrox is that it's really hard to judge how much healing he does.
Yes, absolutely.
Maybe it's because I don't play top laners, but, like, I, like, always, like, see Aatrox, and then, like, suddenly he has, like, half of his health bar back, and, like, wait, what just happened?
No, yeah, I'm the exact same way. So, this is perhaps one of the... It missed. Okay, it missed. I'm not sure. We can do, like, the Nidalee Spear. We can do the Ash Arrow hit rate.
Cool.
But, I mean, yeah, this might be one of, like, the biggest, beginning of the game stomps that we've seen. 14-1, nearly 10k gold.
14-1.
Yeah.
I mean, blue team's comp is, like, significantly easier to execute, and I think that
is an advantage for sure, right?
I think, like, part of what makes KGS's team good is that, like, I've said this before, but their team is, like, really good at choosing
champions that are like easy to execute,
Mm-hmm.
which is like always good. Like you should always choose a comp that's easier to execute. If you think like if you're not like egoing and you don't think like you're crazy better than the other team, like, just pick like an easy to execute comp, and this is like a super easy to execute comp.
Right.
So.
Oh, Astro. Okay, it's the Kaisa.
Oh, nice ult. Boom.
Wait, Teddy,
Good
you, just make sure you're watching like my Discord stream, not like the stream, right?
You're not streaming.
I'm not streaming. Oh, you should have told me. You've just been watching the Twitch stream this whole time. Oh my god. Let me stream OBS here for you. Sorry about that. Ba-ba-ba. All right. Now you should be able to see it in real time.
That's the Aatrox champion.
Oh, and then Orgat's able to flip on the turret and gets a shutdown. So,
Nice.
I mean, the thing that is worth noting is that if they are able to get, like, any of these kills other than Ashe, there's some pretty, like, hefty shutdowns attached.
Oh, nice Ashe ults again. Oh, maybe not. Oh, this way?
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah. Oh my gosh, I don't know. I don't know if I see a way back into this game. Except without some like Baus level trolling. Yeah. I don't see it.
Unfortunately, I think when Wukong is weak, he's like really
useless for the whole game, right?
Like he like gets one shot like so fast.
Yeah.
Like
absolutely. Speaking of,
yeah, poor Jonas just being.
Ashe is about to get ult back up. She's about to throw it like right now.
Ooh. Oh,
okay, technically Dean missed the ult.
Technically.
Did not hit anyone. SMH, garbage trolling. Alright, yeah, that mandate on Ashe is so unfun to play into. Just like throw these out and then just get so much extra damage for nothing. Probably the best user of the whole aim in the whole game. Beating out Nami, right? I think.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, this is kind of boring to watch.
Yeah,
I think
honestly,
we just had a better draft for the players they have. I think Red Team's comp is like totally executable, but it's just hard. Like your players have to be better,
right?
And unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be the case.
Yeah, it just feels like they're not. I mean, right? It just looks like they're not comfortable on these picks playing it the way they need to. Which again, I don't blame them because this is a much harder comp to play than the other teams. But it just, I don't know. I feel like I wanted to see, like comfort picks and just really showing what they can do at their best.
I just think like having Trundle would have made a big difference this game. I think if they picked Trundle third. I also, like, am not a fan of the Renata pick. Like, I mean, what are you gonna do? Also, I think Renata gets countered by Seraphine anyways, just because of her range. But yeah, anyways, like, I don't know. You did pick Blitzcrank if you're gonna pick Blitzcrank or some kind of engaged support if you're gonna pick Kai'Sa with it.
Right, so that's a pretty good Renata ult. Although, I mean, they really don't have any auto attackers to speak of.
Okay, yeah, but it was. Oh, never mind. Video's just uncle.
Oh, wait, is that a Gordrick or Udyr? I didn't even notice.
Oh, that's funny.
Is he going Gordrick or QMax?
Mayhaps.
It is QMax, yeah. I mean, I think.
Oh, Udyr's going back in. Udyr's going back in. Okay.
Feels as though he can.
And meanwhile, bot lane is being torn up. Unfortunate. Well, they got a pick. Unfortunately, it was not a shutdown, it appears.
Right. Wukong.
I'm pretty sure Aatrox just 1v4s this.
Wait, did I just see Kai'Sa?
Oh my god, yeah, Aatrox like literally just goes over.
Is this the game? Is the game over?
Probably.
Oh, Ashel. Aatrox is just healing so much.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's the Aatrox moment.
His Alpha just doesn't. Okay, wait, is that
Oh,
game?
shit.
Is that a 20-minute grand finals victory? Are they? I don't think they need it back here.
No,
they have 20 seconds up on Udyr and or not Udyr, Urgot and Wukong. I mean,
they have Ziggs. Just satchel the turret.
Oh my gosh.
Oh wow, nice route. Yeah, I mean they have Ziggs. They can do something here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, nice snipe.
and then Ziggs takes his turret, and there's just an open nexus.
Ziggs
Will
gonna
this
auto
be the
turret
end
and be
of
like,
Season 4 of Scrim Zone? Or will Cylakats be able to hold it off?
Well drafted by blue team.
Oh my gosh!
Oh wow. Like, definitely some nice Ashe ults I saw.
Absolutely.
Other than that, it trucks me pretty well. But yeah, nothing too interesting or noteworthy. I think like their draft is easier to execute, and that is why they won.
I mean, with this we have the winners of Season 4 of Scrim Zone. And what a dominant way to go out.
Yeah, very dominant last game.
Yeah, I mean, really good stuff. I mean, obviously, you know, like you're saying, it was an easier game plan to win, but I think part of the skill of this team is drafting in that way that allows them to do that. I think that is a bit skill.
I think their players are like willing to play like that kind of champion, which like I have respect for. Like I have respect for players who realize that like, oh, maybe this champion is like not as fun or like not as cool, but like it's literally brain dead. Like how can you lose? How can you lose? Well, you can lose Ashe Seraphine pretty easily actually if the enemy is willing to play an engaged champ, but I think they know that maybe Gnome wasn't willing to. And so like that's like an easily abusable exploit. So I think that's like good like scouting, like good understanding of what the enemy team's gonna play. And yeah, like I said, their strength is like I think no like clear weakness on their team player wise, and willingness to play for draft and play like just very brain dead, like easy to execute champions. So I have like super respect for that for sure. That's what I always told my team to do, but my team and not Kathy's Kittens, you Penny Sports team.
I see.
Our team has a couple egos. But yeah, I mean,
GG's both teams. I think let's drag Dean in here.